I'm going to be repotting my orchid today. This is a plant that we kind of inherited from a former roommate, and I have repotted it previously, but it is outgrowing this pot now. This one wasn't much of an upgrade because it was rather large at the time, and you can see that it's got these roots are browning. That's an indication that it needs repotting. But it's still doing okay. I recently moved it so it could get more light, and it's responding to that. It looks like it's getting ready to bloom. But I'm gonna pull this out of here, and hopefully its roots aren't that bad. We'll see. So I think the title of this video is going to be saving my orchid from myself or something along those lines, because I think I've been killing this orchid, and the reason I say that is because I didn't even think about the potting medium when I repotted this before, because it was in potting soil. So I just put it in more potting soil when I put it in a bigger pot. But turns out that's not necessarily the right move to make with orchids, because plain potting soil can hold on to too much moisture, and that's not necessarily what orchids need. They will start to get root rot, which I am seeing some signs of here. So first I completely removed all the potting soil, and I think what might have happened is this. So let me back up. You can see like the sphagnum peat moss that this was originally potted in the center, but that is not what I saw when I repotted this. I saw it in potting soil. So whoever potted this up and then sold it at the store, they must have got these as like smaller plants in the sphagnum moss and then put them in regular potting soil and then sold them at the store. And so when I was repotting it, I didn't even think anything of it. I didn't know. So I think I've been slowly killing this plant and giving it problems with the onset of root rot. But now that I know, I'm going to put it in a completely different growing medium. I'll either put it in like a coco coir or more sphagnum moss. But I was very surprised, but I suppose I shouldn't be, because this sort of stuff happens. You gotta kind of research the plants that you're buying and then learn to tell if they're quality. But at least now that I know that not only was it in the wrong growing medium to begin with, I had continued that and perpetuated it forward when I repotted it. But yeah, now that I know, I'm sure this will rebound dramatically since it's not being drowned. I feel bad. I'm sure that orchid owners out there are like screaming. They're like, yeah, duh. How could you not know this? This is my first orchid that I've taken care of, so at least I'm not outright killing it. I'm figuring out the problem and correcting it. And I hope to see this bloom now that I'm going to be putting it in an appropriate potting medium. It's frustrating, but at least I'll be a better orchid owner now. Let me just show you what the roots look like. I sprayed them down, and there's still some good roots in there for sure. I'm sure it'll rebound. But yeah, just if you've got an orchid, don't treat it like any other house plant. It doesn't want to be super wet. Do a little bit of research on it, unlike myself. I just repotted it, and I'm rambling now. You get the idea. But anyway, one article I read said that a little bit goes a long way in terms of watering. So that's why it doesn't need like a traditional potting mix that will hold on to that moisture, because that having all that moisture is what will bring on the root rot and start a decline in the plant.